Welcome back for another 10-minute drawing technique. This is episode 4, camera perspective. One of the things I hear a lot whenever people talk about fisheye lenses, or whenever they see an image that is somewhat spherically distorted, they call it lens distortion, and people get the idea that lens distortion is something that's caused by the curvature of a lens and that kind of thing. But whenever you look at any image, whenever you draw a particular a picture, you draw it. If this is the artist, you're drawing everything on a viewing plane. You're drawing everything on a piece of paper. You're treating it like a window. You see. Oops. You're seeing the page like it's a window, and you have to imagine the objects that sit behind it. And while you're imagining it, if you can, this is basically what the visualization process is. This is being able to imagine something behind the page, and then tracing the image out onto the screen or onto the page. This is what visualization is. And this is a tough thing, because when you look at the page, what do you see when you look at the page? Most of the time you see this terrible, desolate, blank white desert of a page, and there's no information in your mind. There's nothing for your mind to grasp, and there's just no way you can form an image out of it. And that's why we do things like the point-to-point technique, which gives your mind some information so that it can complete what little bits you give it. So everything that we do in drawing is about giving your mind information to help you complete the image, and then you basically draw over whatever it is that you're doing. You just continually add more and more information. You have to be careful, and you can choose where it is that you're adding the information. Okay, and so all this, the reason why I'm teaching you all these little different perspective tricks is so that when you need to figure out where you're going to put those markings, it'll help you choose with a little bit more accuracy, and it'll help you see things, it'll help you see how things rotate and how they behave, how perspective behaves. That's why I show you all these things. Now, with the camera perspective, okay, most of the time they'll show you something like this. They'll show you if this is our our field of vision. Okay, there's our piece of paper. There's our field of vision. Everything happens within here, and like I said earlier, this is like a hole. It's a hole that you're looking through. It's the window that you're looking through, and your imagination is beyond. And they say, okay, so when they say draw the horizon line, they draw a straight line. Okay, but I just would like to say that whenever you're looking straight along the ground, whenever you're looking, if this is you, and you're looking, parallel to the ground that you're standing on, then yeah, that's what you'll see. You'll see a straight line, okay? But something different happens when you look up into the sky. When you look up into the sky, what's really going on is you are standing on this massive ball we call a planet, drawing not to scale. And you stare up into the sky, and you can only see, up to a tangent of the Earth, as the Earth, curves. And this forms the horizon line, okay? Now, if you were standing maybe over here, and you were looking, here's your head, and you were looking out, that way, then that means that you'd only be able to see, it's going to be tough. That means the horizon line is going to be this ring. So it's not really a horizon line at all, it's a ring. It's a horizon ring. So whenever you look up into the sky, the horizon is going to turn into a ring, and it's going to encircle the circumference of your view. So if you're looking straight at, well, If you're looking straight at the horizon line, it becomes flat. When you look partially up into the sky, then, okay, there's our midline. If you look partially in the sky, then the ground's going to drop away, and it's going to become a little bit more curved. Alright? And then as you look higher and higher into the sky, it's going to drop away even more. And it's going to become even more curved, until the point where you're looking straight up into the sky and it becomes a circular ring. So the thing is that if you're looking straight ahead, we can assume that you're staring at 0 degrees along the horizon line. And when you're staring straight into the sky, you're seeing, well, you're staring up at 90 degrees, which is, you know, well, that's way off the page. And when you're looking up at 90 degrees, you're going to see a circular circumference. And so that means, you know, if I look up in the sky, I see something like this. Okay? And, you know, the ground is going to start curving away and acting all weird and funny. You know? So keep that in mind. And also it's going to, you know, remember you've got your vanishing points off on the side. You know? So keep that in mind when you're drawing. There's that weird sort of look to things. Now, when they talk about fisheye perspective, all that means is that you're taking a very, very wide field of view. If you're looking at, it's like taking this guy, and the thing is this, is that we have roughly 180 degrees view to either side. Well, 90 degrees up and down, and we can see almost all that way. And same thing this way. You can see about same deal, about 180 degrees to either side as well. You know, but we really only care about, you know, about that much. You know, but we have about this much peripheral vision. I know this because if you take your hand, you know, and you just hold your hand up and just wiggle your fingers, you know, you can find the limits of your field of vision. You'll find that the eyeball has a field of vision of roughly 180 degrees peripheral vision. So keep in mind that your field of vision is like this. Your field of vision is very much like a bowl. It's like a bowl that is right here. You know, you can see all this, everything within here, but you generally only concentrate on a small area, and when you're drawing on a piece of paper, you're only drawing that much. So fisheye perspective and lens distortion occurs when you take this piece of paper and you shove it right here, and now you can see all that. And it still looks normal to us because this is how we live. We live like this. But if you take the same piece of paper and have drawn the image, you know, mapped onto this piece of rectangular paper, and you step back over here and you look at it, then it's going to look distorted. It's going to, because this piece of paper was, you know, if I drew a piece of paper standing here at this distance, you know, that means that the picture, the illusion is only going to work if I view it from this same distance. And, you know, the angle of vision, the FOV, is the same. When you step back, you know, you change your FOV, but the thing is that the image was drawn at this particular FOV, and you're going to get some distortion. It's going to look like lens distortion. So, and that's the thing. There's no such thing as lens distortion. It doesn't exist. This is just lens distortion is just what occurs whenever you've got something viewed at a particular, you know, viewing distance. You know, you're seeing things at a particular angle, and it's when you step back and you see things at, you know, an incorrect distance or an incorrect angle. But this is a perspective trick that you can use whenever you're trying to do, you know, wide panoramas. Use this kind of trick. So anyway, it looks like we're out of time. I'm going to have to split up, make another perspective tutorial. Thanks for watching and commenting. I really appreciate this. Really appreciate all the kind things you guys had to say. And I'll see you next time, real soon. Bye.